Clark, I got the information, but it didn't have anything regarding the investigation.
Um, Give me a little more information. You got what information?
It was a program. It was just information on reading. It didn't have anything regarding the investigation. It had a complaint form. You said that you were going to give me the results of the investigation, the conclusion, and I didn't get it.
Well, yes, I sent you different things. So in our first conversation, I informed you I would send out per our conversation how to file a complaint and request records. So I sent that first. Then once the case was actually closed, and per our second conversation, I advised you would receive a letter notifying you of the conclusion of the investigation. So if you receive one letter, you'll receive the second one after that.
Okay. So I received the information first and then I received the conclusion later.
Yes, because those happen at different times. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I have questions. Are you able to tell me what happened? Because I never was informed of what happened with my child custody rights. Like I said, there's a lot of criminal activity and multiple parties are covering for it. My rights have been violated, and I thought CPS assisted with that, but they're denying me services. So are you able to find out as an investigator what happened with the court, why they didn't give me advocates, why I didn't CPS, did not violated my rights and didn't give me an attorney or any information on why they were taking my child? I have no clue why they took my child custody rights away. I was arrested on false charges, and I've been reporting these experiences for years for them to get ignored. But I'm not quite sure why Child Protective Services would cover for all the chaos, and not give me assistance with my reports. I haven't received any resources, any locations, any programs. No advocacy, period. And there's criminal activity that I reported to CPS. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here. You were talking. I don't think you actually asked me one specific question. So if you want to narrow it down to one question, I'll answer that. Then you can ask me a second question and I'll answer that.
Well, if I can't report to CPS that crimes are being committed, and you wouldn't give me information on my daughter being hit and are investigated. I don't know how to progress. I don't know why CPS would refuse an investigation for abuse or a child not being protected. I mean, why would Child Protective Services deny a child, a parent the right to, check on their child and make sure that they're protected if she was hit? I don't know why CPS would do that and then not investigate what's going on with these courts, deny my services and the corruption. She witnessed my false arrest screaming in terror. I don't understand why CPS would not do anything to advocate for our family.
Okay, so Ms. Clark, I don't mind speaking with you, but you start a lot of your statements with if.
I don't know, ma'am, what services you offer. So I'm giving broad statements so you can kind of direct me in what needs to be done. Because I don't know. No one has told me what CPS does. They've been denying me services. So what can you do if I'm reporting criminal activity and corruption that got my child custody rights taken away? And a worker that was a conspirator in the crime, as well as multiple other parties, I haven't been given any assistance. So what can you do?
The best way for you to know what we can do, since you said you want to know what CPS can do, you can go to the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services website and find out exactly what CPS can and cannot do.
Okay, one moment. Okay, is what I'm describing to you considered exploitation? If you're an investigator, if I'm telling you that multiple parties are committing crimes to sabotage my relationship with my daughter?
So that was very broad. Who are the multiple parties? Because I do recall in a previous conversation, I informed you Child Protective Services does investigate child abuse and neglect involving caregivers of children, which does include parents, in-home providers like foster care providers, or maybe emergency shelter personnel, etc.
Well,
So
the dad went up to this family court and made false statements along with the CPS worker that can be easily proven. They made false statements to the court, and
may not qualify as exploitation.
Okay, so what about if the government is railroading me and sabotaging my life, my parental rights out of malice?
So Child Protective Services would not investigate your concern about a government agency railroading you.
Okay, so as for the dad making false statements to a family court and and the James Hastings, the CPS is unwilling to investigate that and give me advocacy and support to get my child custody rights back. Is that correct?
You would have to restate that because it was a little.
I haven't received any information on programs. The caseworker did not assist me, period. I made multiple reports of what was going on and haven't had any advocacy support resources at all. It was more like the parties were covering for it and condoning it.
With regard to your court case, which happened in the past, is that what
the child abuse I reported, like my daughter getting hit, and you wouldn't give me the records on that, and I still don't. You wouldn't give me the information, and you told me you'd mail it, and then I got something mailed that wasn't what you stated that you send me, and you said you send that later. I don't know why.
I have a question for you. We had multiple conversations. In the first conversation, I said I would mail something. You received that. In a subsequent conversation, I said I would mail something. So you have not subsequently received that yet. So how did I not do something when you received?
You didn't give me the verbal information on my daughter being hit. You wanted to mail that out to me. And then you told me you didn't really investigate it. So I thought that was kind of bizarre for CPS to not investigate a child getting hit and who did it, especially if that was a report.
You're being untruthful. I never said that.
Okay, so you investigated did you find out who hit her?
There was a complete and thorough investigation done.
Okay, absolutely. Well, you did not inform me of who hit her on the phone, and you said you were being condescending and ignored my request to ask for you to find out who hit her. So if I'm just sitting and marinating, not knowing what happened to my child, I don't know why a CPS investigator would leave me in that chaos and then mistreat me in the process of, doing a report.
You don't have to sit and marinate. You can actually be a very productive citizen.
I just don't understand why you denied me the right to know who hit my child and information on what was going on with the case that I reported and what any resources and advocacy that I, can give for the corruption and why you were rude to me and I experienced a lot of corruption as I informed you. Were the resources, any services, any programs, all of that has been denied, and I don't know why CPS would do that and also deny me education of my rights in this experience.
I have not denied you any of those things.
Okay, well, I'd like to know what my rights are if I'm reporting that multiple parties are committing crimes, sabotaging my rights as a parent, which is actually criminal. That's a felony. How can you help me as an investigator for CPS? And I reported that.
Two things here. So one, I did inform you during the investigation it was found no one hit your child. Second thing is you have the right to do your own research and figure it out yourself, what your rights are.
Right. So I don't have that education, and I don't know why so many parties sabotage that for me and violate my rights and, and not giving me advocacy and support through this crisis, this situation. A person doesn't readily know if there's so many parties sabotaging my education of my experience and what I can do. There's multiple parties. I've tried to go to legal aids, and the corruption is so huge that I've even had people interrupt me speaking with someone at legal aid organizations or, with the legal aid. And, so I don't know what to do if multiple places are denying me services. I don't know why CPS would mistreat me when I came in person. And, why wouldn't you want me to know the programs and the resources to help parents in my situation? Advocates or caseworkers or social workers in this experience. If my rights were terminated, why didn't anybody offer me that?
I can provide you with any resources you would like. I was just telling you the Texas Family Code is public information. It is not denied to you. Your rights are available to you.
Okay, I never got them. I never got any right. No one has ever addressed that to me or given me advocacy or places I can go. That's never had happened.
Give it to you. Stop waiting for people to hand deliver things to you. You want it, you get it yourself.
I've tried, ma'am. I don't know why you're being rude again, and my rights have been violated. A person don't readily know what to do when people out of corruption abuse them and mistreat them and take their rights away for profit. So that's not something that multiple people would know, initially know about. So I would like the advocacy and support that multiple citizens are allowed and not to be violated in the process of asking for them to sabotage my rights even further than what they've already been sabotaged. So I don't understand why you're an investigator and you want to deprive me of even more education to sabotage my rights even farther than what they've been sabotaged. Why would you talk to me in this manner, knowing the experience that my daughter as well as myself has had? She witnessed a false arrest, screaming in terror, and what does your caseworker do? Lie for profit. So I'm not sure why so many CPS workers and staff take that very lightly and also condone the behavior and aid in it. So we still have not got any resolutions of where I can go because my rights are still getting violated. I'm set up for supervised visits. No one will tell me why. And I can't even get those out of corruption. I can't get law enforcement.
Okay, since you received the information I sent you the first time, and it's likely you will receive the notification letter, I am more than happy to send you some additional information in order to help advocate for you, as you indicate, because I am not withholding resources from you. I would like for you to be aware of your rights and have the services you feel you need. So I am not opposed to doing that.
Is there a particular reason why, with all this chaos going on, I'm deprived of a caseworker that actually has an interest in helping? Or any program so where I can get a caseworker or a social worker that is not depriving me of my rights? Is there any particular...
Provide a caseworker when there's not an open case. So
I can't get an open case because there's so much corruption where people commit crimes to keep me in the situation. When there was an open case, why did she not give me the advocacy and support I was requesting at that point? Why am I being deprived of caseworkers for over 30-something reports? This is the first time over 30-something reports and that someone has called and I'm still not getting any information. I've never met with a caseworker or anything. Wasn't given support most of the time. They're rude.
Do you want to come to my office and pick up these records?
I would like to speak with your supervisor as well to figure out why Child Protective Services are covering for the crimes that have happened to me and my daughter. I would like to come pick up that information, and I would like to speak with your supervisor to know what I can do if there's multiple parties conspiring to sabotage my rights as a parent, which is criminal.
Ms. Clark, I already informed you of what you can do if you feel you would like to dispute any conclusions to any past investigations that have, and it is not speak with my program director, because my program director is not the person who can handle any past investigation.
I don't know, ma'am. I'm being deprived of the right to get the information. I have no clue what's going on when I go to the office.
You received it, so that is not true. You're not being truthful.
What do you mean I received it? I have never received anything from CPS regarding what happened with my child, the reports I've made, or with me. They have never given me anything in writing ever. The only time that they gave me in Hillsborough, they gave me the administrative review, which had multiple lies in it, which is what I'm reporting to CPS. You said my child custody rights weren't taken away. If they're not taken away, can you tell me what happened as an investigator? Because I have no clue. I don't know why CPS would sabotage my education and the information to know what's going on with my daughter.
So you
So
see my concerns? You keep saying never, 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 and then you just said, well, the ones.
I think that you're just, making, just causing more problems with, the other things that those surpass the minimal of me not, of the situation in Hillsborough. I made 20 something, 30 something reports that I haven't had a response on.
Okay. So do you want to come to my office and I provide you with the documents in your hand?
Okay, so what I want to make sure that I have clarity, because I want to make sure people aren't sabotaging my rights and keeping me from my rights. So are you going to give me education on where the 30 something reports, what happened with them?
No.
Okay, what are you going to give me?
And give you information on how you can request an administrative review of investigative findings, how you can contact our OCA department to file a complaint on any investigators who you feel have not completed a thorough and complete investigation, or if you feel like the investigative conclusions were not completed in a manner that is to your liking. I will provide you with information and resources, or maybe advocates or liaisons who can help you.
Yeah, that would be good. Some liaisons or different parties, because what I feel is happening, I feel that CPS is a conspirator in a crime, because they're helping sabotage my rights as a parent by denying me the education, the advocacy, and support. And also making the CPS worker was also made false statements, and I can't report that to any of the caseworkers to investigate. So it's more like CPS are conspirators in criminal activity instead of trying to actually assist me. Yes. Because, I mean, it doesn't make sense for 30-something reports to get ignored if something is not amiss. But you're saying that I can come meet you in person, and you will give me resources. I'm writing this down. So you will give me resources to an agency that will help me?
Yes, I will give you resources, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you give me those now over the phone?
Well, I would have to look up some resources, actually.
Okay, can you do that?
Right now?
Yes.
Well, I will not. It might take me a little time.
Okay. One moment,
so, no, my answer is no. I can do it at another time, and then we can arrange for a time for you to come up here.
Okay. So, one moment. Okay. So, as a CPS caseworker or investigator, I would like to know when you don't readily have available because I've called multiple organizations and they said CPS or the court has to set you up to get services. And that hasn't been done.
Okay.
So I want to know why CPS did not set me up to get services with these organizations so they can advocate for me, give me legal advice and all of that I've been deprived of.
I'm sorry, you want me to tell you why something didn't happen in a past case? Is that what you're asking me?
Well, I mean, I was deprived for years of any education, advocacy, and police threatened. Police came in and intervened in me getting case information, so I didn't have rights like multiple other people. Staff were intentionally violating my rights and keeping me from education on what was going on with my reports, which I thought was criminal.
I heard that. I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, don't you think that's odd as an investigator? Don't you think that shows that someone is doing something that they shouldn't be? Why would CPS threaten me and the police come and intervene and me making reports? No wonder I don't know anything. Why would CPS condone police coming in to sabotage someone's parental rights?
Ms. Clark, you want me to tell you why someone did or did not do something?
You're an investigator, ma'am. You're an investigator, and as an investigator, don't you think that is odd? Don't you think that is evidence that multiple parties are sabotaging my rights as a parent, which is a felony?
You're a mother. Do you answer regarding the behaviors of
I don't know why you would be rude, ma'am. If I'm telling you all this chaos is going on, it's more like you're covering for it than you're trying to advocate for me. And CPS workers don't advocate for criminal activity unless they're a part of it.
I just want you to think logically.
I think that you're not. I think that you're sabotaging. You're sabotaging my rights because your behavior is not appropriate for someone, and I'm telling you what my experience was.
Asking you to think logically is not not appropriate. I apologize for that.
I just think that you're being condescending, ma'am, and you're kind of being abusive. And I've told you that my daughter witnessed a false arrest, screaming in terror in all of our experiences. I don't think that it doesn't appear that you have our best interests at heart. It appears that you're more covering for the experience.
Would you like me to call you and I have some resources available so we can schedule a time for you to visit my office?
Well, I would like to get a hold of a supervisor because I don't know. It's more by your behavior. It's more like you're covering for the criminal activity.
You did get a hold of a supervisor and you asked someone to have me call you. So I am the
Oh, that was a supervisor? She told me that she was a receptionist. You said that was a supervisor?
I am the investigation supervisor who you requested to call.
Okay, I would like your supervisor, someone over you.
No, absolutely not. I'm telling you no.
You don't have a choice to deny me your supervisor.
You can write it down, you can record it, you can post it, you can do whatever you want. I do not care. I said no.
Okay, this is very odd for someone that claims that they're with Child Protective Service and investigator. It's more like you're covering for crimes.
Okay, you can take it however you choose.
Okay, ma'am. I don't know how beneficial these resources are. I just think that, a lot of people need to get consequences for a lot of bad behavior. I think that this has went on long enough. I don't know why you would condone all this mistreatment me and my daughter has had.
I called you back. I did my due diligence, and so have a good day. Thank you.